popular streamer known as Sykkuno has been torn apart online over the past week after a 32-page Google document was released about him, calling him out for cheating, being manipulative, and so much worse that I can't even get into in the very beginning of this video. In addition to this document, a recorded Discord call was leaked with him admitting to cheating on his girlfriend. As time went on, however, many began turning on the creator of the Google Doc as well as others who were involved. As we dive into this intense and lengthy story, we will get into the reasons as to why.
What is why I'm still upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me. You can still talk to me and be, like, make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances. But I never will forgive you for cheating on her.
We will also be going over Sykkuno's response, along with the response of his girlfriend, who seems to shake up the entire situation even more than we already thought. This is a wild yet complex story that involves a lot of debate regarding some of the details. With that being said, to truly grasp it entirely, I hope you get comfortable and stick around for the full video. Sykkuno is a streamer who has grown popular around 2020, gaining hundreds of thousands of live viewers by playing video games. He's reached over 2 million subscribers on YouTube and over 3.8 million followers on Twitch. What Sykkuno is most known for is playing Among Us with other large streamers, as well as having an uwu personality, which is the best that I can describe, and it becomes more insufferable with every new fact we learn about him, such as the fact that he is currently a 34-year-old man acting like whatever this is.
Actually, so much braver than I thought.
Only because you're here.
How long have you been streaming?
Just over a year now.
Really?
Most of my life, you know, like, a lot of people see me say stuff like, girls aren't into me and stuff like that, you know? And they think I'm memeing, they think I'm trolling, they think I'm messing with people. But the fact is, guys, for most of my life, I haven't really had many friends and people really haven't been into me.
It's kind of fun, like talking to people and playing games, and that's pretty much all I do, actually. I'm just just talking and playing games.
I do think I'm really lucky I started streaming, and there's so many nice people out there that are really kind to me. Really appreciate all you guys, but that's just how it is, you know? I spent most of my life thinking I'm not really cool.
This somehow made him extremely charming to a lot of women, apparently. To each their own, I guess. You see, Sykkuno was apparently living the bachelor lifestyle while having a long-term girlfriend that he has been living with since 2024. They've been dating since 2021. According to a Google Doc that was dropped by a person who we will call Mal in this video, he didn't seem to disclose that information to a lot of women who he was talking to, including Mal herself. And this is where the beginning of Sykkuno's innocent facade ends. It is extremely hot out today. It's almost 90 degrees, but I am still wearing a beanie hat for you today. Because unlike some people that we will be discussing in today's video, I'm not afraid of commitment. But maybe we're starting off a little too strong there. Hello, I am so sorry again that I have just been MIA. It's pretty much the same thing that's been going on since my last video that I made. At the end of that video or in the beginning, I don't remember where, somewhere I mentioned that I have been going through it, for a lack of a better term. Right now, I'm dealing with a sick family member. Chester's doing pretty good actually, but there's some stuff that has been taking a lot of my time that I didn't even think would be taking up this much of my time, because on top of just regular everyday stuff, now there's caretaking roles and other stuff that have been not a lot, but it's been just taking a lot of time. So I have another video that is halfway done that I am going to be posting very soon, and then another video after that. So you guys are going to be seeing a little bit more of me than you have in the last like 2 months, and again, I do apologize for that. I'm not going to reiterate things. If you've seen my previous video, you know a little bit of what's going on, and if you haven't, go watch it. But not before you finish watching this video, because we have a lot to talk about today. A streamer named Sykkuno, who had grown popular back in 2020 during all of the lockdowns and shutdowns and everybody was playing Among Us, has recently gotten a lot of backlash for not only being unfaithful to his 5-year-long relationship, cheating on his partner, but also being in contact with multiple other women, and one of them have actually made a 32-page Google Google document and released it onto Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And at the point of recording this video, it has gained over 35 million views according to that post. Before I give you any commentary, before I share you any of my thoughts, I figured we'll just dive right into it. We're gonna go into this blind pretty much. And afterwards, aside from a few comments here and there, we're going to reflect and share some thoughts. And from there is a 17-minute long unlisted YouTube video that was shared in this Google document. I have trimmed out all of the dead air and silence, which brought it down to about 10 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to take to get through with my commentary because I will be adding commentary throughout that, unlike the Google document that I'm going to try my hardest to just read straight through. On April 10th, a 32-page Google Doc was posted on Twitter or X by someone known as HimomoVT, exposing Sykkuno, a serial cheater, master manipulator, and dangerous. Diving right into the document, on Valentine's Day of this year, I was followed on Twitter by Sykkuno. I thought it was amazing that such a big content creator even knew I existed, let alone followed me on social media. He had been my role model and someone I looked up to for a long time, ever since my days in high school. However, what I learned about Sykkuno after that day would make me regret my decision. Sykkuno is not the kind, soft-spoken character you see on stream. He is a serial cheater, liar, and manipulator who uses his status to get what he wants from as many women as possible, more specifically ones who are smaller or more up-and-coming content creators, knowing that he can take advantage of them. After confiding in many others that had similar experiences with Sykkuno, I realized that this was not an isolated incident. In fact, it was something that had been going on for multiple years. He always made sure to cover his tracks and never left a paper trail significant enough for someone to make this public. But now, this has all changed. These are serious allegations, and I fully understand that this should not be treated lightly. I urge all other content creators who have been personally affected by Sykkuno's behavior to not remain silent, as I believe there is strength in numbers. This document will not only include proof from me, but another victim who has given me her consent as well. Below, you will find evidence that will expose his calculated pattern of love bombing and manipulation, as well as a recording of a voice call where he explicitly admits to all of his wrongdoings. Everything. Our first conversation. After Valentine's Day, I was so excited about him following me that I told a friend who then urged me to strike up a conversation. I finally worked up the courage to send him a DM, and he replied right away. She wrote, "Are you still looking for a Valentine's date, perhaps?" Seemingly, Sykkuno responds, "What? You can't just open up with something like that. And besides, Valentine's Day is almost over where I'm from already. I mean, we can always do a Valentine's Day do-over, you know?" Invited me to play games with him. In the same first conversation, he brought up what kind of games he liked to play, and invited me to play with him after a conversation. "I can take the healing kit and occasionally heal you in it. What time is it where you're from?" "It's 5:48 a.m., but I have a horrible sleep schedule." "It's 5:48 a.m.? What? Oh my god. Wait, do you want to play right now? If you're not tired or something? Why are you awake?" "'Cause I'm bad at sleeping, okay? I gym at night." "It's okay, I'm pretty bad at sleeping too, not gonna lie." Seemingly replying to the earlier message, she wrote, "On a real note, a friend of mine dared me because I didn't know how to reach out. I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to come off weird." "LOL, you aren't weird at all, don't worry. And I didn't say no, I guess, so." "LOL, just kidding, just kidding." "What games do you like to play?" "I'm a massive game player. That's usually how I meet people or make friends, to be honest." "Well, I've been in my Overwatch addiction because of the Sereno bundle, LOL." I don't play Overwatch. I don't know if that's how you say it. I'm either playing horror games, Souls games, or cozy games. I don't do the shooters very well. But apart from that, I play a lot of Outlast Trials. Please say you have it and will play with me. I need more people to play with. Outlast Trials. I play it, but I'm pretty bad. Can you carry me, LOL? I play Overwatch a little bit, but I'm like most useful on Torb hiding behind a turret, but they nerfed that apparently. She then said, "I'm super goated, don't worry." In another message it says, "See, you can't be talking." I just finished streaming, but I can maybe play for a little bit. I just want to get some food and shower and stuff. "Oh, of course, take your time." My Discord is this. I'm gonna block it out, but it's available in the Google document. You can just add me whenever you're free. Free anytime soon? Was just asking, cause else I might get tired before we play. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry I took so long." "Oh, well, it's fine. I'm just playing QP. QP? Okay, so I have a convention I have to go to tomorrow, so I should sleep early tonight, but let's play tomorrow? Man, you had me waiting for a rain check. Oh, I'm sorry, I owe you one. I mean, a game or two wouldn't hurt though, right? So she's really trying to convince him here to play a game with her. Also, which convention? It's like a small one. I'm just sponsored to go for some Gundam game, but I have to be there early. Oh, okay. But like, it's one game. It's not like you're staying up super late. I even just finished my QP game. We will play extra tomorrow, and we can do Outlast trials. Okay, are you good with horror though? Also, should I add you on Discord or interest in where I live? For context, this is still the same day as the first conversation. Only moved to Discord and a few hours apart since I'm in Europe time zone and he's in US time zone. Things started out innocently enough with him inquiring about fun things to do near where I live, such as aquariums and conventions. TwitchCon Europe specifically. I'd like to point out that I said we can go on a date and make up for Valentine's. He not once expressed to me any discomfort or that he wasn't single. LOL, okay, I'll try that. Do they have an aquarium? I'm a big fan of aquariums. There's Artists in Amsterdam. Could make it a date, you know, make up for Valentine's. Artists? A what? Wait, how far away even is TwitchCon? Oh my god, let me check. Last days for May. Whoa, okay, it's actually like only a few months away. Wow, it really just sneaks up. Following my private Instagram. He would also follow my personal private Instagram that is only available to my in real life friends and family while using his official Sykkuno account. And she shows a screenshot of that. Making plans to meet me in person. In this 2-hour Discord gaming call, the same day as our first conversation, Sykkuno made plans to meet me in real life. It was set to be the same weekend as Dokomi 2026 since he was flying over anyway to attend TwitchCon Europe. Going to the aquarium would be our first date. I also learned that there is a 15-year age gap between us. In the Discord screenshot, he shares a picture of this cool looking sugar skull, then says, "I'm so bad at Outlast, LOL. Was fun hanging out though. I will find the best of reels to send." She said, "No hun, you did great. I have friends that did way worse than you, to be honest. I expected less of you." Jesus Christ. Making plans to move in together. So we're going from playing Outlast and everything to talking about moving in together. Okay. With Sykkuno, our relationship moved so incredibly fast that it almost felt like a dream. It was like he could make anything I wanted happen, and as someone as prolific and successful as him, I had no reason to doubt anything he said to me. These screenshots show that Sykkuno and I were intending to adopt a cat and have me possibly move into his house. I told him we couldn't get a cat yet due to not being a US citizen and possibly having visa issues. Keep in mind, this conversation happened 2 days after the first conversation. So all of these discussions happened 2 days after first meeting this person? What is this, The Sims? It can make it hard to go outside or do too much sometimes though, so. Oh, I get that. I'm allergic to grass. Not as bad, but I can become really dizzy from it. It's like the only allergy I have. But if I ever come visit, like, we don't have to always go out, you know? As long as you're comfy. Also, aren't pets bad for your condition? I don't know how sensitive it is, but sometimes cat hairs can make it worse. Certain ones can be. It depends though. My dog is fine. He's not very allergenic. Well, my family dog that I don't get to see often anymore, sadly. Oh, so like hypoallergenic pets are fine. Yeah, and even some that aren't like listed as that were okay too. I mean, if I'm there anyways, we'll have to think of a name, no? Yeah, but I don't know if I could take care of it by myself. Or were you just gonna name it Cat? You'll have to stay and help take care of it, LOL. I'm okay with that, though I don't know how that'd work with me staying there. I can't stay there forever either, you know, because I'm not an American citizen, and I'll also probably have to go back as well. Because I mean, I hope at least that I can go back to studying end of this year. And like, in general, everything is expensive. Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe we can get a cat together another time then. Besides, don't you already have a cat? Yeah, but they're my dad's. Also, did you finally order the food, LOL? Oh, I see. So you wouldn't have to bring them if you just moved somewhere? No, I guess not, though I'd miss them so much, so I definitely have to get new pets. You know who I really miss though? My dog. Yeah, I was so sad when I didn't see my dog as much. We had known each other for barely a few days, and this 34-year-old man was already expressing interest in moving in together to live in the same house. Was he being 100% serious, or is this like some weird small talk BS conversation? Because genuine question, what happens if she moved into the house that his girlfriend lived at? Lying about being single and dating history. In this screenshot, Sykkuno said he only ever had one relationship in his entire life. I would eventually find out that that was a lie, and that he had been dating and living in the same house as his girlfriend for years, and that I was not the only girl on the internet that he spoke to on a daily basis. This is what the text says. I mean, you've been in a relationship before. It's not like your first relationship. He says, I don't know, LOL. I've only like actually dated somebody once, and they broke up with me, so yeah, I think I'm just not very good so it's probably just a me issue. Did you, like, never do anything for your ex, like, at all? I mean, I think I did. I don't think she thought I did, so yeah. But I mean, everyone has their own way of what they want, so it's important to be like, are you getting what you want? And if not, I totally understand. She responds with such as. Then we get into spicy texting for YouTube's sake. We texted every single day, and these interactions would be charged with flirting and suggestive topics. I would send him suggested pictures and audios, and he would confirm that he would do stuff with that information. Additionally, he'd always act flustered and inexperienced, keeping up the illusion of his on-stream innocent persona. We'd also regularly talk about date ideas and things we'd like to do together in the future when we'd meet up in real life, topics that are usually discussed between two adults who are clearly romantically interested in each other. On top of texting, we also called almost every day, even after he'd stream for over 8 hours. We'd talk and play games regularly. One thing I'd notice is that every time we called and when he spoke, he'd be whispering and never fully use his voice. His excuse was that it was because he was tired after a long stream, and I didn't really find that to be suspicious. Using your voice for 8 hours in a row does exhaust it after all. I now realize he was quiet because his girlfriend lived with him and he didn't want her to hear. Another text shows, "You're too sweet, but you ditched that TwitchCon for me?" Tamon B-side, I never heard of it. Oh, let's watch something then. We should. Or we watch a cooked Netflix dating show, cause those are funny, lol, or both. Wait, do you want to play Helldivers Overwatch or watch a show after? Cause low-key, I want to play Overwatch. Cause of the Sanrio skins, I want to make the most of it. In another text it says, "You do too. Yeah, like in that audio recording I sent you? Huh? OMG, well, yes, you sounded really cute in that too. Did you ever re-listen to it or only that once? Thank you, I tried my best to sound good for you. Wait, why'd you send me $81? Oh, you said you wanted the new Resident Evil game. Oh, I mean specifically 81, I don't know. It just translates to $100. Another text says, "I need to exercise more or something, I swear. We'll work out together then. I can spot you, you know? Gym dates are also cute. Are those even dates? It's gonna be like sweaty and not gonna lie, some people I know are like, I spent 2 hours at the gym every day and I'm like, I think I'd be tired before 2 hours, lol. I think I'd be tired in like 15 minutes max. I spend 2 or 3 hours at the gym. I mean, yeah, a lot of people who go at the gym go on gym dates. It's just fun helping each other during workouts. You get flustered so easily because I've never done like this kind of thing before, lol. And you don't like it? Which is crazy because I'm older than you, but like I haven't really dated much, so you have me now. My XP bar is low, but no, I do it. I think he meant to say I do like it. I've never gotten something like this before. Yes, I like it. It's so good. I can't wait to use it later. Oh. You know, I kind of wondered if you'd ever done stuff while watching what I sent you. What? Why would you wonder that? Well, because they're spicy pictures. She actually says spicy pictures and videos. Of course, I wonder if you put them to use. He said, "I'll definitely put this one to use." So you've never done so before? Maybe? I want a yes or a no. Yes, of course I have. How could I not? Okay, great. That's wonderful. Not really. You're cheating on your girlfriend. That's f***ing terrible. Going back to sleep now. Hope you have a good rest and that you're feeling better today. And you don't have to send me what the heck, lol. But I hope you feel as good as you look. I know you said you weren't feeling too great yesterday. Does this guy type with his elbows or something? Because damn. I'm feeling a little bit better, yeah. I love getting compliments from you. Also, good morning, handsome. What are you up to? Sugar, oh my god, sugar daddy. Less than a month later, Sykkuno would randomly ask for my PayPal account in DMs. He'd then waste no time sending me money unprompted, something that I'd later realize was simply a behavioral pattern that he'd employ with women he'd express interest in. I want to reiterate, I have never asked him for this money, and he did this of his own volition. He bought me both a gym jacket linked below and Resident Evil 9 because I had expressed interest in the game. You still aren't asleep either? I fell asleep, woke up again because I'm having trouble sleeping. Aw, well, good morning, and what's your PayPal so I can buy you games later? Listen, I just want to stop for a second. I don't know why this didn't hit my head until now. Like, I think I was just processing what I just read. Not only is he cheating on his girlfriend, that's what I understand from the situation so far, but he's spending money on other women while having a girlfriend as well. Oh my god, okay. That is just wild to me. Huh? Straight to the point. Jesus. I need to update my email to my PayPal because it's my old name before I rebranded. What the heck? That's crazy. That's just an American thing. Want me to send it back? No, I wanted you to get a nice gym vest. LOL. Well, I mean, especially because it seems like you're really passionate about working out. So I thought it'd be nice. I guess I could get another one. Yeah, and then you could remember me when you're wearing it. I thought it was a cute idea. LOL. And then she sends him a picture of her in the gym outfit, or the gym jacket. I'm sorry. I wore it with the green set because I know how much you like green. Morning. Oh, thanks. You look good. Is it comfy? There is a link. On March 17th, 2026, she did post this picture. It says, this gym jacket is literally so comfy. The muscle mommy arc will be real. A calculated pattern of love bombing and manipulation. After speaking with Elphia a few days ago, we were able to corroborate our experiences with Sykkuno and learn that we both are victims of his. We had no idea that he was talking to both of us at the same time. Sykkuno is known to send hundreds of dollars to the girls he wants to get involved with. This screenshot is from when he took my friend Elphia to Paris during the 2025 TFT tournament, along with sending her 500 euros to help her move into her new apartment. You can also clearly see that this was sent from his business email's PayPal account. Yeah, he sent her quite a bit of money. I want to see something. That's like 586 US dollars just for that one alone. So he's spending, let's see here, 500, 400, 300, 249, about 1,450 euros. That's about 1,700 US dollars. That's insane. I'm sorry. Listen, if I'm this guy's girlfriend that lives with him and he's spending that kind of money on just one singular person, not collectively all the women he's talking to, yeah, that would obviously be it. But like, Jesus Christ, that's f***ing insane. Paying for another girl to fly out to him? Here are the DMs in which we can see that he offered to pay for her flight to TFT Paris, as well as all the food and hotel fees there, pretty much taking care of her financially during the entire trip. There's 2 screenshots here. I'm probably going to Paris later this year for sure. I'm not sure on TwitchCon yet. I'm afraid I don't know enough people. Ah, that's unfortunate. I mean, maybe, but I'm scared, LOL. I can understand that. I'd probably be too. I only know 2 people and the rest I've never met before. What? That's scary, LOL. Well, I might. But you should come to Paris when I go. Paris is pretty easy to get to, yeah. You better hang out then when I go there, and I might go to TwitchCon maybe. I'll have to see because I know nothing and no one there, and it's expensive. I'll pay for it, don't worry. Whoa, really? You do that? Yeah, of course, and all the food. But you gotta choose places. You'd have to deal with my annoying ass though, mwahaha. Deal, I'll annoy you so much though, lol. I'll be like, Kuno, let's go out to get boba. I'm hiding behind you whenever you talk to people though, lol. See you soon, you have the hotel info, right? You're fine, you never have to pay for anything, don't worry, lol. How much is the flight usually from the Netherlands to Paris and back? I think I'm going for like a TFT tournament or something like that. Alfila's experience. I think I said her name wrong previously. I apologize. Alfila would talk to Sykkuno on and off for the span of 5 years. During that time, she had absolutely no idea he had a girlfriend in the 5 years that she had known him, and on and off flirted with him anytime she would bring up the topic of his love life. He would give the response of playing too many games and not going out enough to meet women to date. Jesus. Also, I have a question for you. Why are you single? Like, how? Huh? That's a crazy question, lol. I think it's a combination of, like, playing too many games, same calculated behavior and patterns, using his nerdy gamer boy facade to lure women into a false narrative. Pfft. I can't make that noise. You're cute. You're this sweet to all girls, or am I just lucky? What? LOL. Only to the ones who I think are cool. She also has a screenshot of Sykkuno following her as well. Here is proof that Sykkuno was in Paris for the TFT event around this time too, directly from his Twitter. I'm about to win so many prizes. And is that Lily Pichu? Play with Lily Pichu and win prizes. Sykkuno also reposted, ultimate bragging rights have been secured at the TFT Paris Open. Congrats on the 4v4 champions. And Sykkuno is one of the 4 people on there. Another screenshot shares, OMG, I was playing WoW and I saw this player. It reminded me of you. She says, oh, you got reminded of me? That's so cute. Of course. Oh, I was gonna ask, were you planning on going to like Off-Kai or anything like that? I wish, but unfortunately I can't. My rent is now 800 euros per month. month, and I'm living fully off my savings, so I canceled all my travels for the year. To add even more salt to the wound, after Althea's Paris trip, and 2 weeks after he had started talking to me, saying things like how he wants to move in with me and such, he would message Althea asking her if she'll be at Off-Kai. This is proof that he'd be talking to more than one woman at a time, planning a hookup for every event he went to. He was doing this while giving me the impression that he wanted something long-term, and all while also having a girlfriend since 2021. Althea and I weren't friends until I found out that he was cheating on his girlfriend. This is when we both got in contact with each other and shared our stories. She deserves the world. Another screenshot shows, OMG, my friend I just asked that he's going to like a VTuber anime convention in Germany after. Ooh, I heard about that, I think. How long would you go for? It'd feel bad to come for just like 3 days all the way to Europe. I'll be there from Thursday to Monday. I fell asleep. No worries. Good morning. Hi. How was your day? Awful. Spent the whole day crying. Crying right now. Why do men, some, cheat? I'll never understand. Ironic. I'm not saying that. That literally said it in the document. But it is ironic. Rumors and broken friendships. As I mentioned in the intro, no one made a public statement before because they never had sufficient evidence. Sykkuno would always talk about the most explicit and sensitive topics on voice calls or in person, never leaving a paper trail. This was all intentional. Rumors still managed to spread. Many content creators, both big and small, would vent to their friends about his behavior. Behind the scenes for many, he'd be known as a predator who regularly took advantage of smaller and or vulnerable content creators. I know I'm trying really hard to wait till the end of this document, which is coming up, to really share my thoughts on this, but I do want to say right now, calling him an outright predator, in my opinion, is a really big accusation. The reason why Sykkuno would abruptly stop hanging out with certain people throughout the years is because of his behavior. However, he'd managed to keep enough influential friends around him to legitimize his position in the space, especially seeing that many of those friends were women who would have normally stood in solidarity with any sort of victim, making it seem like he was safe enough to trust because they trusted him enough to be a friend. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of streamers, but every time I hear about one, it's not good news. Before we continue this though, unless more information comes out, because we only have the context of this person and the person whose story she shared in this document, that's a very strong word, and I can't say that I agree with that because there's not enough information, even in just the accusations here, that make me feel like that's an appropriate word to use. I will say, though, that the other one's manipulative, cheater, what was the other one? Love bombing, probably. I could see that. I'm not saying he's a good guy. He does seem terrible. Going back to the document, as Althea spoke with Sykkuno, she'd tell him about rumors that she heard from someone else, about how Sykkuno had a roster of readily available women, and how they all coincidentally were similar content creators who wouldn't dare touch him if something went wrong. Althea, of course, didn't believe this. After all, Sykkuno had a calculated pattern that worked perfectly in his favor. His innocent, naive demeanor wouldn't dare hurt a fly, so why would he hurt me? Another screenshot shares, I don't know, he said he dislikes you, and that you only go for girls that are small so you can quote-unquote manipulate them with your shy persona. Yet he is doing all of that to my friend right now. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think that's true, but I guess people will say stuff randomly. Yeah, I'm confused as to these people who think I'm going for them. I haven't really done that. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. People who know me will know me, and I guess he just dislikes me, which is totally fine. Exactly. He did say the only reason you haven't gotten called out is because you go after small creators and they'll never quote-unquote expose you. If you ever need proof of anything, I have receipts just in case he tries anything funny. Ooh, I feel like the way VTubers are, they would love to try and expose bigger streamers. They love the drama, lol. But it's not true, so I think it's fine. I don't need receipts or anything, it's fine. But I thought he was chill, so I'm kinda sad he's so angry. I know, just making sure you stay safe no matter what, love. I mean, why is he bringing me up so much anyway, though? He's jealous of you. I'm just playing League with him and he brought you up out of the blue. I don't think there's much to be jealous of, lol. I have no idea. But hopefully he feels better soon. Damn. Jesus. He said you hurt 5 of his friends, apparently. Now we're getting into Sykkuno's girlfriend. The coincidence that would lead me to finding out the truth about Sykkuno happened last week. A popular male VTuber tried to slide into my DMs to presumably get in my pants, and when I rejected him, he immediately started to mention nasty rumors about Bao. Aside from some major disclaimers, I'm trying to hold back most of my critiques until we're done going through this document, but one thing that really gets to me in any situation, not just this, is when somebody is sharing a story and they introduce a name without any context or explanation of who that person is. I got really confused when I was reading this at first because I was like, who's Bao? I had to scroll up and check if I missed anything. This name just comes out of nowhere. I had no idea who this person was, yet they seem to be a pretty big part of this story moving forward. So Bao, or Bao the Whale on Twitter, is another VTuber. She seems to have a pretty big following, so maybe she is well known in the streaming community, and the writer of this document felt that they didn't need to make an introduction. But for those who have no idea what's going on, because this tweet here X post, whatever, got over 13 million views. This is being discussed in spaces outside of the VTubing or streamer community. There's going to be a lot of people who read this and are confused. If you're writing a Google Doc exposing somebody and you're introducing a new person into the story, please just make a brief description of who they are so you're not sending your audience on a wild goose chase or confusing the reader. A simple, another VTuber or streamer named Bao, blah 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 blah. It would just make it a lot easier to follow the story. Again, just a critique unrelated to the actual story itself. I had to add it in here, I'm sorry. Out of concern for her, I reached out to a mod who then connected me with Bao. The three of us struck up a conversation when I mentioned I was nervous about a date I was going on. They asked me who it was. When I said my date was with Sykkuno, they immediately told me not to go on the date for my own personal safety. Bao told me that at the end of March, Sykkuno's girlfriend reached out to her regarding a controversial tweet Bao made last year. She asked Bao if it was true that the tweet was about Sykkuno. They called Bao and explained to her that other women had confided in her about similar experiences with him. She described a pattern of behavior that he targeted small female content creators and pressured them into having with him. If he's pressuring people, coercing them into doing things that they maybe don't want to do, then the word would fit a little bit more. Bao then offered to connect her with these other victims so they could share their experiences with her directly, as she felt that it was important to hear them firsthand. This was all discussed during a Discord call. A screenshot shares from March 24th, 2026. This is pretty recent. Hey Bao, I'm sorry to bother you with this, but I heard something recently that is a bit concerning and I thought I would just come ask you about it. I heard that there was possibly an instance of Sykkuno trying to get VTuber girls up to his hotel room to drink with them, and that the tweet you made about being cautious of large male streamers showering you with gifts or attention was about him, in regards to him doing it to one of your friends. Let's read that tweet really quick. It says, if you are an up-and-coming female content creator with a small but growing audience, and a much larger and successful male content creator approaches you out of nowhere and showers you with attention on stream, in DMs, etc., don't walk, run. And that was October 26, 2025. Not even a full year ago. Going back to the Google Doc, it says, Bao told me that 3 days before I contacted her and her mod, Sykkuno and his girlfriend were trying to reconcile after Sykkuno somehow managed to convince her that it was all a huge misunderstanding. She had no clue that I, as well as many other girls, still existed in Sykkuno's romantic and intimate life. Bao and her mod would put me in a group chat with Sykkuno's girlfriend where I would share all of these screenshots that you see above. She was rightfully horrified and left the group chat because she couldn't stomach reading them. Some of the screenshots shared below say, I've lived with him for over 2 years, we've been together since 2021, and everything he's planning with you are things we have planned together and talk about and have done. I'm sorry. I genuinely hope this woman left him. To all of Sykkuno's victims, ever since Sykkuno's viral breakout during the lockdowns of 2020 when he played Among Us, he has always carefully curated every aspect of his behavior on stream and with friends. An innocent, romantically inexperienced boy failure who looks like an anime character and sounds like one too. This perfectly curated image would attract a large audience of women, with a lot of them openly professing how attracted they are to him. He soaked in the praise and never sought to limit the most extreme aspects of his community because it made him more desirable. He understood this and would use this curated image, as well as his legitimacy in the content creation space thanks to his followers and famous friends, to seek out any attractive cosplayers and or for content creators that were small enough to be starstruck by his grand presence. It would work most of the time, as he used the same calculated pattern that he used with me and Ophelia to lure them in, and eventually fly them out to the next convention or event he went to with the goal of hooking up. What many women didn't know, though, is that he'd always lie about the fact that he's single, that behind the scenes he had a neglected and depressed girlfriend that he had been with since 2021 and who has lived with him since 2024 in the same house. I implore the many other victims to come out about their experiences with this Again, that word is a little heavy right now, but there are some things that I think are really messed up and we're going to get into it. And my opinion can change on that if information comes out. And I end this document with a recording of Sykkuno in which he admits to everything, especially with how he cheated on his girlfriend with my friend and was intending to do so with me as well. For context, this was shortly after I had messaged his girlfriend about cheating. 30 minutes later, he would ask if I was free for a call. As his girlfriend was crying downstairs, he somehow chose to prioritize someone that he barely met 2 months ago. I also pointed this out during the call. Here's the link. On the last page of the document, it says, "This was the last thing I said to him. Oh, why? I'm making food right now. You're making food at this hour? But you know why, and I think I should explain. It's 6:50 a.m. I'm making breakfast. Ominous much? Not ominous, just the truth. But if you're not interested, that's fine too. I'll give you the short version if you can't call. I can call in a few minutes." It then shows that a call lasted around 18 minutes on April 4th, 2026, with her saying at the very end, "I'm beyond disappointed in you." So before we get to this video, I want to share my thoughts on this document so far. Again, I did share a few of them throughout it, but I have really tried my best to refrain so that way we could just have like a debrief before we get into the video. From what we understand through these messages and through the evidence that this person provided, in my opinion, it seems very much like she had pursued him. Through these messages, it seems like she was the one who had been the one to break the ice, been the one to kind of lead the direction of a lot of these conversations. Does that make him innocent? Absolutely not. This guy has a girlfriend. I have thoughts on the relationship, by the way. I'm gonna get to that in a second. I want to get through things point by point as much as I can. She claimed that Sykkuno was a serial cheater. I can agree with that. A manipulator, love bombing, but the one that I really have trouble getting behind at this point in time is the accusation of him being a predator. I went through that a little bit in this document because I couldn't wait until this part to share that with you, but there's a part in this document where she says they have a 15-year age gap, but does not share at any point throughout this document how old she was. She is supposedly 19 or was 19 when they began talking, and he was 34. I think I said 35. He was 34 during the time of this Google Doc. Is that age gap weird? Is it a pretty big age gap? Yeah. Regardless, there is nothing right now to indicate what he did was illegal in regarding kids or anything like that. And I know the word predator itself can go beyond being a PEDO. I understand that. I'm not saying that in any circumstance this cannot be true. Right now, with the information that we have, it's a very big accusation, especially when we look at some other things that seem a little bit misleading. We're going to get into the audio call in a moment. I know we haven't reached there yet. Stay with me until the end of that call if you want to know why I've come to this conclusion currently. The conclusion I am at is that this person, in my opinion, from what I currently know, has a bit more malicious intent than leads on. And with 35 million people viewing that Google document, I don't know if every single person listened to the audio call at the end, or if they've stuck around to figure out what's actually going on. And this makes me upset for a multitude of reasons. One, because there's a lot of victims out there of things that happen, and anytime something like this happens, it automatically damages the next person's credibility. It's not the fault of that person or anything, it's just the way society is, and it sucks. Two, really big one, is the situation is bad enough in it of itself. The situation of him cheating on his partner with multiple women online is bad enough in itself. We've seen people like Ned Fulmer over the past year and a half have his entire career destroyed by cheating on his wife and that person was another consenting adult. If you're in an intimate relationship with somebody that you're supposed to be committed to, and then you go out and cheat on them, and then you come back and you're intimate with your partner and you don't tell them about that, there's a chance you could be getting involved with somebody who might have an STI or an STD or some other thing, maybe even just a cold, right? But by you not telling your partner that, you're putting their health at risk. So yeah, I think there's a level there that should be discussed. There's one other thing that really bothers me in this situation. I get the idea, just the vibe, just the hunch, that his partner that he's been cheating on probably doesn't want to be involved publicly. She has not been named in the document. She has gone into a group chat with a lot of the people involved in this situation and then left the group chat because there was so much information that it was making her sick to her stomach. Understandably so. His partner does not owe anybody any explanation or anything. I just genuinely hope she is okay and can have a happier life without somebody like Sykkuno continuously interfering with it. So with that being said, let's get into this unlisted video. At this point, I don't know why it's not just public because of how many people saw it, but I will say that the people that saw this video, it's got over 180 some thousand views. It's a lot less than 35 million. And again, just to remind you, this is a 17-minute long video, but I shortened it down to about 10 minutes. There was a lot of silence and pauses that I had taken out. Would you trust a pet lion to watch a bunch of freshly bought meat while you leave the room for 20 minutes? Yeah, no, probably not. And not just because you probably don't have a pet lion. That's not security, that's just a buffet for the lion. And the same reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. In 2021, the National Safety Council reported that over 36,000 car accidents would happen every single day. If you've ever gotten into an accident, your injuries could potentially be worth millions. So if you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan, and if you end up working with Morgan & Morgan, they will fight for you to get the best results. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, with over 1,000 attorneys across all 50 states. When dealing with cases, Morgan & Morgan doesn't settle for lowball offers. Morgan & Morgan has achieved significant verdicts for their clients who have gotten life-altering injuries. The best part, you don't have to pay anything unless they win your case. That's right, you don't have to worry about any upfront charges. Not all law firms are the same. Hire the wrong one and you may be beat before you even start. So if you're ever injured, you could check out Morgan & Morgan. For more information, you can go to forthepeople.com/Mimi and you can find that linked in the description below. Thank you so much to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring yet another video on the channel, and with that being said, let's get back into today's topic. This is a 17-minute unlisted YouTube video with over 180,000 views and over 1,000 comments on it currently, posted on April 10th, 2026. In the description it says, "In this phone call on Discord, Sykkuno admits to me that he had been in a long-term relationship with his girlfriend while flirting with and having intimate relations with other girls while leading them on. His girlfriend's name and the male VTuber I originally found out through about this whole situation are censored to protect their privacy." Of course, that is important. We don't want to disrespect the privacy of anybody who hasn't been named publicly in this situation.
Pretty much know most of it.
Yeah? Like what?
Know what?
No, you can tell me.
Okay. Wasn't very honest about
About what? You have to speak up a little bit. Your mic is cutting out.
Sorry, always happens. About being single, and I just wanted to tell you how everything happened.
Uh-huh. You're still gonna have to speak up a little bit, by the way. You're still cutting out a lot.
Sorry. You know how I talk quietly.
Yeah, but you never talk this quietly.
I'm sad.
It's the actions of your... Well, it's the consequence of your own actions, I suppose.
I know.
Mm.
So basically, I was in a very happy relationship.
Doesn't sound like it, but sure.
Well, let me finish.
Uh-huh,
I
continue.
was in a very happy relationship a long time ago.
Long time ago. What, like
And then-
2021?
I don't know the exact time, honestly. Long time ago. Then it got a lot less happy.
How so?
I don't fully know. She just stopped hanging out with me that much, and
Stop hanging out with you. She lives with you.
yeah, I mean,
You're gonna have to speak up. I can't hear a single sentence that comes out of your mouth. You there?
yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm just asking because you went quiet.
Anyway, so I was very, very happy,
Mm-hmm.
and at some point it wasn't so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly when, but like we stopped spending time together. We hadn't done it together for years.
Or what? I couldn't hear that part.
I said we hadn't done anything together for like years,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just very sad and alone. Didn't feel wanted at all.
Mm-hmm. So you slept with Elfie in Paris.
Yeah.
So first of all, I think I've been mispronouncing the one person's name wrong the entire time. I read it as Alphelia, because that's what it looked like to me, but this person's saying Elfie. I apologize. But we have him admitting here that he did go and sleep with another woman in Paris while being in a relationship with somebody else. His excuse was that they had been in an unhappy relationship and he's been very lonely. Again, we don't know the actual aspects of this relationship, and I doubt that we ever will. At this current time, it seems like his partner does not want to be involved publicly, and that's entirely their decision. They are who I feel bad for the most in this situation, and they owe nobody an explanation if they don't wish to give one. So if we take him at his word, they've been in an unhappy relationship. In that case, why not just end things? What we don't know is if she was blindsided by this, if there was anything else going on. And again, we probably won't know that information. And he also does add that they're no longer physically intimate. But considering he is not a reliable source of information due to all the lies he has been telling people, I don't know whether or not to believe that. That is what he claims, though, is that they're no longer intimate and haven't been for some time. If this is true, then my argument earlier about him potentially putting her body at risk by being intimate with people that she had no clue about, that wouldn't really be relevant. But right now, we don't know this as fact. And also, even if that isn't the case, you're still mentally destroying somebody by deceiving them and betraying their trust. It's still terrible and entirely unacceptable. The person who made the document asks Sykkuno, why wouldn't you just break things off with her? And he says, well, it's complicated. I pay for things for her. I take care of her.
And then you flirted with me. And were telling me how you wanted me to come visit you in Vegas, and how you wanted to go on a date, and how you were serious about me, and how you really meant it, and how you wanted to go get a cat together.
Yes.
Yeah. Why? Why didn't you just break off the relationship then?
Because it was a combination of remembering how it was, some part of me hoping it would go back to that, and
Well, obviously it's not going to go back to that if you're actively cheating on her. It's only going to get worse. I think that's really on you, bud. And I know you're smarter than that.
I'm not.
I mean, looks like you're a 34-year-old man. Yes, you are. Stop acting like you're a child.
Don't think that's what I'm acting like, but
I mean, you say you're not smarter than that, but you are. You're a 34-year-old man. You just chose to do it. You knew damn well in the back of your head that it wasn't going to end up well.
yeah, but it's complicated.
It's really not.
So-
Cheating is just bad. She hasn't done anything to ask for you to be cheated on. It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, but she relied on me to take care of a lot of things, and I still cared about her.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you do that because you wanted to, not because she was like holding it against you or forcing you to.
No.
Exactly. So there's still no excuse for you to cheat on her.
Not saying there was one, just explaining why it happened.
The only reason why it happened is because you just chose to do it.
The one thing that really gets to me, though, is he says things in such a mopey, pouty way, like, well, I'm still taking care of her. I still have to take care of her. It's more complicated than that. Like, it's a burden. But meanwhile, this guy is spending thousands of dollars on other women. Imagine being in a relationship with somebody who you think is committed to you, and maybe some things are going on. Maybe they're taking care of you financially because you're going through a rough spot, but that's what relationships are, right? You're there to help them, they're there to help you. It's not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 100 on one person one day, sometimes it's 75%, and then sometimes it is 50-50. If you're committed in a long-term relationship, you are going to have ups and downs, and you're going to have to take care of each other because things happen in life. I'm not talking about things like infidelity, cheating, or anything like that. I'm talking about things outside of the relationship that you don't have control over. Sickness, health, family problems, money problems, job crises. Back in 2020, what happened? Not just a global pandemic, but a lot of people were laid off from their jobs. Granted, I think they began dating in 2021, but for the sake of this argument, I'm just saying life hits you in different ways that you do not expect, and the span of 5 years is a decent amount of time for some things to happen that you don't quite expect in life, right? Unless you're incredibly lucky, you're probably going to see some life changes Again, things you don't have control over, things that are outside of the relationship but may have an impact on you or the other person. If you're committed to that person and you love that person and you're saying, yes, I want to be with that person, which, by the way, he does say in the call, he says he wants to try and work on things with this person. So I don't know how that's going to go. But if you want to stay in a committed long-term relationship, then sometimes it does require effort and sacrifice. And this is just boyfriend-girlfriend stuff. If you want to go down the line and you want to like get married or have a family or anything else, there's even more things that can happen that can affect you and your partner. But just for the sake of this, we're going to assume that's not the case and that it's just the two of them. It doesn't matter if you're cheating on somebody that you've been dating for a month or somebody you're married to and have kids with, it's still horrible. So what really bothers me is, to me, from hearing what has been said, reading things from this document, seeing the conversations, it sounds like he feels a little burdened by taking care of his girlfriend. This rich Twitch streamer, I'm assuming rich because he's blowing a lot of money on random girls he's never met before. It's a problem for him to take care of his girlfriend, who he actively lives with, by the way. It's not like they're a long distance relationship either. Not to say that it would be okay if it was, but they actively live together, and I believe have been since 2024, at least according to what we know from this Google Doc. We're not talking about getting somebody a $5 coffee, by the way. We're talking about spending thousands of dollars. It's bad enough you're cheating on her, but you're spending money that you could be spending on your girlfriend on these people. And if your girlfriend isn't making you happy, or you have some sort of harbored resentment towards your girlfriend for spending money on her despite spending money on other people, you shouldn't be in a relationship with them. I know this isn't rocket science. I know this is something that seems like common sense, but for some reason it's not. And some people's brain just don't have the capacity to understand that. But that's why we're talking about it today. Because maybe somebody out there can learn from this that he can't, to know, maybe in the future, if I'm ever in a relationship, if I'm unhappy, instead of cheating on them, going to these places and doing stuff with other people and spending my money on them instead of the person I'm supposed to be committed to, maybe just end the relationship so the person that you're committed to can move on and live their lives knowing that they're free from that.
I don't know why you decided to lie to me, because you know damn well that lying especially is like a big thing I do not tolerate. Yeah. And I was fine about the Alfie thing, because I was like, okay, he didn't know me before that, right? But then I find out you've had a girlfriend this entire time. Do you realize how f***ed up that is? Because not only were you... Because, sure, you didn't lead Alfie on. Alfie acknowledges that you didn't lead her on, right? Because I've talked to Alfie. I'm friends with her. I've been friends with her before I even met you.
Okay.
Like, she acknowledges that you didn't lead her on. You led me on, though. You did lead me on, though.
Yeah.
You gave me all these fancy-ass promises about, oh, we're gonna go on a date when you come visit here. What, so you could cheat on your girlfriend again? So you could sleep with me so you could cheat on your girlfriend again?
That wasn't...
What were you intending with that?
Well, I thought it was going to, be over.
But what?
Like, I thought that was gonna be the end of that.
The end of what?
My previous relationship.
You were gonna break up with so you could date me, or what?
Well, like I said, it'd been a long time where, like, we hadn't spent time together, hadn't done anything in years.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I thought that was, at some point, be over.
What? I couldn't hear you.
I said, I thought that meant that was going to be, like, the end of it.
So you were already moving on before you even broke up with her? Were you intending to break up with her, or were you just waiting for her to break up with you?
No, I don't know. It was
So-
just a really weird...
We went over this a little bit already, where he talks about, oh, this has been a complicated relationship, that's why I haven't said anything. And for a good portion of this video, she does grill him on this. And for a good portion of this video, she seems pretty rational and level-headed. It does get a little confusing when she talks about how she's been friends with Elfie. Like, the timeline doesn't seem to match up very well to what she says here.
Because I've talked to Alfie. I'm friends with her. I've been friends with her before I even met you.
Versus what is in the document. And there's some other timeline issues as well. One thing I will say, though, is that just because you're an online content creator, it doesn't automatically mean you have to disclose who you're in a relationship with, obviously. You can respect the privacy of people. That being said, when you are being flirtatious with others and obviously having intimate relationships with other people, that's when it crosses a line. When you're directly in contact with people and being flirtatious with them and expressing interest in a romantic relationship with somebody else, at that point, you do owe it to that person to tell them you're in a relationship, and you owe it to your partner as well.
I just want to understand this. So what was your intention with me? Like, where was I in this whole thing? Like, were you intending to date me after her? Like, were you intending to just ditch me to go date me?
I mean, I guess for me, it felt like it was already. Oh,
But that's not what I asked. I'm talking about me.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
You were thinking to just ditch her and then date me. What, were you gonna do the same thing to me? I'm sorry, but like, you're not really selling this whole relationship thing really well. If this is the type of relationship you uphold.
It's fine. I'm not trying to sell it.
I can tell.
Just trying to explain to you what's going on.
Yeah. The thing is, if I never reached out to Bao, because I didn't even reach out to Bao about you, right? I reached out to Bao about because lied behind my back to a bunch of people, and I was not okay with that. And then started lying about Bao. That's when I reached out to Bao. I became friends with her roommate, and then I was talking with a little bit back and forth, and then you came up in the topic, and then she told me you had a girlfriend, and that your girlfriend has been venting to Bao this entire time about how you gaslight her into staying. You make her feel bad anytime that she like wanted to leave because you cheated on her, and she knew that you cheated on her. She just didn't know who, because you never told her that it was Elfie. You just told her that you cheated on her in Paris. I think. I don't know if you told her, but I knew she knew.
Yeah, I did.
Why? Why go through all this trouble?
Because I didn't know how to,
I mean, for God's sake, if the only thing why you even stayed with her is because she relied on me for a lot of things, you can afford to take care of her for a little bit before she gets back onto her feet. Like, at least don't put her through the trouble of like telling her like, oh, like I'm still gonna be with you, like telling her that you're still her boyfriend while actively cheating on her every single day.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I should have just, said how I felt.
Like, you could have just deadass, if the only thing that you were concerned about is the fact that she relied on you for things, you could have just supported her until she got back onto her feet, so she could support herself, you know?
And it wasn't just that.
Then what else?
Somehow hoping it would go back to how things used to be.
Well, I also already told you, cheating is not going to make it go back to how it used to be.
It's a lot easier to say that.
It's the truth. It's the harsh truth. Nothing is going to go back the same way that it was if you're going to cheat on someone actively.
What really starts to get concerning is when she gets to the point where, after going back and forth for a decent chunk of this video, what appears to me is that she has the expectation of still maintaining a relationship with him.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm going to change.
You're going to change what?
That's it. Everything.
What do you mean that's it?
Just gonna change that.
You're going to stay with her?
You're right.
But honest to God, I feel like the poor girl's been through enough. I don't think you should have to sit there and keep doing this to her. Because I was in a group chat with her while you were on stream. And this girl's absolutely distraught because of the shit that you've done to her. The shit that you've put her through. Like, genuinely. Do you know how much that fucks someone up? Like, you already cheated on her once, and she decided to trust you still. She decided to stay with you, despite the fact that you already had cheated on her and admitted to it. And what do? You go onto fucking Twitter and go find the next girl to flirt with. And if anything, honest to God, I'm not even mad at this point. I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed.
Yep, that's fair.
Because she's been crying to Bao about it. Bao's been sitting there, like, comforting this girl, trying to tell her, hey, maybe you should leave him. Because this isn't okay. This really isn't okay. You're putting this girl through mental strain every single day that you continue to be with her. While you're sitting there having fun playing with your friends. Be so honest right now.
So you think, you might be right.
Yeah. Like, if it is money that she doesn't have, or if it's a job, or if it's family, or blah 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 blah.
Gave her a lot.
Yeah, well, there, exactly. Just help her back on her feet until she can support herself, and then just leave the girl alone. Because she deserves better than that. Because you cannot sit there and be like, I love her, but do all of this shit to her, and continue to let her stay in that situation.
Well, one part of that wasn't true.
What?
I mean, I think the feelings faded.
Well, then you should just let her go. Instead of just sitting her there, wasting her time.
Okay, well, Anyway,
And also, why'd you get on a call with me when right now she's upset? I know she lives with you.
I already talked to her.
Yeah, you should
And
be
I
there
told
to
her I'm going to talk to you first.
comfort her. She's the one that you cheated on.
I just wanted to add in here before we continue listening to this. There's some things here that do sound a little off, and it gets worse in a moment, but she does make a lot of really decent points at the same time. For example, her saying, I know your girlfriend lives with you, yet you're talking to me right now. You should be comforting her because I know she's upset about the situation. And his response isn't even good. He says, well, I wanted to take care of this first. I want to settle things first. The fact that this was his first thought shows how much of a thought he actually puts into his actual girlfriend. But this is where things start to go downhill. There were a few hints of that during this conversation in the clip I just shared that give the feeling that there might be some ulterior motive for her to be persuading him to leave his girlfriend as much as she was saying. Though I agree with the reasonings that she gave, it seems like there was just something else, and we're going to get into that something else right now.
No, I'm going to be doing that. I just wanted to settle this first.
This is not settled. I'm beyond upset with you. Like, genuinely beyond upset with you.
I mean, that's fine. By settled, I mean, like, that's it. Like,
What's it?
probably never talking again.
You and me?
Yes.
What? Why?
I'm sorry, I debated on saying this or not, but I really have to add in here. I have not watched the whole show, Euphoria, but her laugh in that clip reminds me of the one girl that Sydney Sweeney plays.
What are you talking about?
Absolutely diabolical.
Is that not why?
What is why I'm still upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me.
Literally says, well, you didn't cheat on me.
You can still
What?
talk to me and be, like, make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances. But I never will forgive you for cheating on her. That's that.
She has the expectations of still remaining in this guy's life and potentially pursuing a relationship with him and expecting him to break up with his girlfriend. And that is why, if you go on Twitter without any context, you see a lot of people giving her backlash as well, because this just changes the perspective of the entire story. The reasoning behind it, the intentions behind it, they all become tarnished once knowing the intentions of this person. This does not seem like somebody who has good intentions. This seems like somebody who is trying to do things for their own gain.
There are a lot of girls that are upset with you, by the way, because Alfie's not the only one that has hit me up.
Yeah, that sounds like you've heard things.
Yeah, and you lied to me a lot about that too.
Um,
A lot. Because, how big was the roster again?
I don't think I ever had one of those.
I mean, maybe not at the same time, but you sure do hop around.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
And everything she said about caring about this person he cheated on and wanting updates, it gets really awkward. She actually says, like, oh, update me on how she's doing. And he's like, I don't think that's something I should be doing.
All I care about right now is that is okay. Keep me updated on that.
I don't know if that's a possibility.
You can keep me updated on how she's doing. You can keep me updated on when she moves out, because I don't think she should be living with you anymore.
I don't think you need me to do that.
It's really creepy, in my opinion, that it got to that point.
I mean, yeah, I care about her. Like,
Yeah, she can do that.
true. I'll just reach out to her then. But, yeah, no, just go talk to her. She needs you right now.
Yeah, okay. Oh, bye.
And I understand she says, well, I care about her. If you care about her, why are you trying to pursue this? Because that is so disrespectful. You just spent all this time berating this guy and you're still trying to invest in him? Like, what actually is wrong with people? So this is why I said earlier, I think she had other intentions to make this seem worse than it already was, because I think she's upset with him and I think she's being malicious. I'm not trying to discredit her for what she had gone through, being lied to and exposing him for cheating. All in all, I think he should have been called out and exposed for cheating on his girlfriend, and I think he deserves consequences for that. but you're not only going to hurt other people when they come out with stories and try to share situations, but you're also hurting his hopefully ex, but potentially still girlfriend. Fumbling this part so hard basically made you lose credibility of the entire situation, and now people are overlooking the fact that, you know what? Yeah, it's a really messed up and terrible thing what he did, cheating on his girlfriend and lying to not only her, but all of these other women, and keeping up a facade and spending all this money on other women while he has a girl that lives with him. Like, that's horrible. I don't want to minimize how bad that is. That's reprehensible. I could say every word in the dictionary to describe how bad that is, because it is bad, right? And I don't want to minimize that. Can we just say that cheating is bad enough to have consequences for? Can we just say that if you're a public figure and lying to a bunch of other creators online about being single, that's bad enough? And lying to your girlfriend and dating other people online is bad enough? That is bad enough. That is terrible. Before we continue on with this story, because it progressively gets worse from here, I was expecting it to just be this Google Doc, this person involved, things escalating on Twitter, and then that was it. Things have gotten significantly worse. But before we get into any additional videos, any additional accusers, and even Sykkuno's response, I want to just show you what has been happening with the individual who made the Google Doc on Sykkuno. After posting this Google Doc and posting the link to the call in that Google Doc, a lot of people were giving her backlash over the one part that we had just gone over, with her not having the greatest reaction to him saying that they should stop talking. The way it comes off is as if she wants to continue a relationship with Sykkuno, whether that be romantic or platonic. To me, it seems a little bit more than platonic, but that's just my opinion. I want to make a note here of the dates that this call took place. This call took place on April 4th, 2026. And that's important to mention because on April 12th, after making that Google Doc, she posted another tweet saying, "To anyone who wants to claim that I wanted to get back with him, here's us also agreeing to stay just friends since he didn't give me the consistency I needed. When I say I wanted something long-term and something committed, I meant that. I was giving him a second chance as my friend, but I can't be friends with someone who clearly doesn't learn from his actions." But you literally said during the Discord call that you're willing to give him a second chance.
I'm still upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me. You can still talk to me and make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances. But I never will forgive you for cheating on her.
Anyway, with this, I'm moving on with my life now and will be going back to posting as normal. And before we get to what this actually says, again, I want to mention the call happened on April 4th. And this screenshot is from March 27th, and right now we're in the second week of April. In many responses she gives to people criticizing her on Twitter or X, she claims that this was before the doc came out and everything. The dates are from over a month ago. I have already moved on from him. Girl, that is not just a lie, it's such an easy provable lie because that tweet was written on April 12th. I'm sorry, I'm still calling them tweets. The Discord call happened on the 27th of March. That's like 2 weeks. I'm not trying to nitpick here, but it bothers me that it's such an easy and very provable lie. Even more so, when you read what was actually sent in this Discord message, it doesn't sound like she's wanting to split up with him due to inconsistency. He was the one that suggested that maybe they just stay regular friends, and if they end up hanging out more and if it grows into something more, then they'll figure that out later. This is what the actual message says. Again, 2 weeks prior to at least this tweet here, when she said it was over a month. Yeah, I understand that. Maybe it'll change one day, but let's just be regular friends, and if we hang out more and more and it grows into more than that, let's do that. I feel like you are ready, and it's the same as other things, like I want to feel ready to reciprocate the same feelings, and right now I'm not, so it feels unfair to you. If anything, he's the one sounding like he doesn't want to pursue this. Not to dismiss him of cheating on his girlfriend again, because he has absolutely cheated on her with this person and other people. Having second thoughts or deciding that he wants to no longer pursue this or just isn't feeling it doesn't make him suddenly not a cheater. She says, well, you take all the time you need for that. I've always told you to do what you feel comfy with. She also says, but I never expected anything from you or needed it from you. I was here because I wanted to simply be. If you want that as just friends, then that's okay too. It might take some time for me to get a little over, because obviously I still have feelings for you 2 weeks ago before that tweet, but if it's what you want, I just want to do what you want and need. Again, I want to remind you, she says this was an agreement to stay just friends since he couldn't give her the consistency she needed. And she also claims that this conversation happened over a month ago. It's not even over a month ago at the time of recording this video, even less so when she made this tweet. It's frustrating me a lot because cheating is a serious thing. We don't need to embellish it to make it worse. It's bad enough on its own. And by doing all of this, it's just minimizing the actual problem, because now you have people not believing what you're saying. So he's going to end up getting away with the cheating part. And also, if there ever is a situation where somebody in the future comes forward against him, their credibility is going to start below zero at this point because of everything that unraveled in this situation. And it is not just, I'm going to call her Mal because that's what it said in one of the screenshots. Mal, Elfie, and Bao, who were 3 people directly involved in this situation, and another person who we're going to get into in a minute. I believe they're called Mugen, who was seemingly in connections with at least Mal and then made a video on this guy. They're getting a lot of backlash right now. A lot of it. Speaking of which, let's actually take a look at some of that. There's a few additional tweets from Mal that I want to go over, and then we're going to go over a couple other people's tweets, or X posts, whatever you want to call them. On April 10th, after posting the Google Doc, she quote tweeted herself saying, "For anyone confused, isn't PEDO. He preys on small female VTubers and lies to them and gives them half-truths with the intentions to have intimate interactions with them. English isn't my first language, so I thought I'd clear that up." For English not being her first language, I think this document was written in a very sophisticated way, and I really am not buying that excuse, if I'm being completely honest. I mentioned this earlier in my video that yes, can mean more than just PEDO, but in this specific case, there are a few things that just don't make a lot of sense. For one, calling him that and then also saying there's a 15-year age gap without actually telling the audience how old you were and how old he was in this, that's really misleading, and to me it sounds like you were attempting to make the situation seem like he was going after underage people. That's just my opinion reading this. My opinion is also that when people were starting to criticize her over that, and then this became a huge discussion afterwards, other people started saying, well, can mean this and that and the third, not just somebody who is going after underage people. It is then emphasized that what she meant was he's going after smaller creators, and then, in my opinion, moving this goalpost to a power imbalance issue, which means basically, I meant it this way, but now that I'm being criticized for that, I'm actually going to change what I mean to this other thing, which things like that can and do happen, but from all of the screenshots that I have seen in her Google document, she seemed to be the person pursuing him. She seemed to be the one leading the conversations. Not once did he leave a message saying, you know, I could get you a lot of views if you become my girlfriend or something like that, that would imply some kind of weaponization of his audience in any way. Another tweet that Mal had made is, and with this, I'm logging off now, guys. This has been saddening to see how you guys twist me to be the person I've never been. I only did this to give my friends the opportunity to speak along with me. This is upsetting to me, and I'll get into why when we get into the response, because not only did Sykkuno respond, but his girlfriend did, and it doesn't seem like a lot of people cared as much as they claim to. I digress. I've gained nothing but hate and threats from this. Please don't send anybody threats to their life or anything like that. I don't condone that. That is disgusting. Criticism is one thing, don't send people threats. I wanted to make sure no other girls were getting led on again and used, and I'm fine financially if that's what you were wondering. Nobody was anybody wondering that? I wasn't. The only time finances were brought up was when he was sending girls hundreds to thousands of dollars for things, and that's not a critique on them, that's a critique on him. But okay. I thought at the time I was pursuing something genuine. She has since posted a lot more. We've already gone over the timeline from a message back in March to the call back in April, and how it wasn't actually over a month, more so around 2 weeks, and some other inconsistencies there. We also have Bao, again, who was the one who made this tweet that we had gone over earlier. A lot of people are giving Bao backlash for being a part of this situation and now acting like nothing is going on. It seems that she is ignoring it. She has even turned off comments on her most recent posts, at least on Twitter/X, and people are quote tweeting or quote posting, I guess you could say now, with an abundance of criticisms, all essentially saying that she is avoiding accountability in this situation and she is trying to dodge this and pretend that it's not going on. I'm not going to put too many opinions on this until she addresses this, but I will say that I think she does need to address this at this point. She does seem to be a fairly large content creator, being directly mentioned in this Google document, having this screenshot of this tweet, and also being described as somebody who is trying to convince his girlfriend to leave him in that audio call that we had listened to. I really do think that she needs to address this. I want to add in here, because I didn't notice this until looking at tweets about this afterwards. There was also a tweet not mentioned in Mal's document where Bao allegedly compares the person she's talking about in this tweet to Harvey Weinstein. And if we're to believe that everything that Mal said in her document was true, then that would mean that what Bao had said in this tweet was regarding Sykkuno. That is a huge accusation to make about somebody who is currently being canceled for cheating on his girlfriend with other girls online. Either this is somehow embellished, or she knows a lot of things we have yet to find out. I don't know which is worse. So another update, by the way, I'm actually finding this out as I'm recording. She did make a video response, or I guess a live stream response, on the 16th, which would be about a day after getting all of this backlash.
I'm just gonna go right into it. A few weeks ago, a girl approached me, and she asked if a tweet I made last year was about, y'all know who.
So this starts right off the bat extremely frustrating, because she admits that what Mal had said in her Google Doc was correct. What Mal had said in her Google Doc was that essentially Bao was implying this to be Sykkuno. That being said, when she says that she made this tweet, she says she made it about you know who. Why could she not name him? That is very frustrating. I don't know if that's to get around things legally or what the deal is, but like I mentioned, I didn't even see this until just reporting on it now. She compared him to Harvey Weinstein. And due to this being such a large accusation, I want to comb through this a little bit more with you. If you notice, these two tweets are a few days apart. So my first thought was, is there any chance that this second tweet regarding the Harvey Weinstein comment was about literally anybody else? What made it just a little bit more clear for me, aside from people bringing this up now, is that in the comments of this tweet, everybody was replying to her saying, this is not actually what you said in the first tweet. So clearly here she's making a joke, but it does seem to be in reference to this previous tweet she made. And why would she say that? Why would she even joke about that? Do we understand how serious the things that Harvey Weinstein has done to be comparing that to somebody who has cheated on their partner with other girls? Like I mentioned, either she knows something that we all don't, or this was heavily embellished.
She revealed to me that it was her boyfriend, if it was true that the tweet was about her boyfriend. I said yes, and I asked her if she would like to join a Discord call with me. In that call, I told her what I've heard from other girls. Girls often at various, events where I meet people, they share with me their negative experiences with him, and that he often tries to solicit sex from them.
She said that he would allegedly often solicit intimate actions from different girls at parties. When using the word solicit, are we talking about something consensual, or were you looking for a word like coerce? There was a vague mention of this in a screen screenshot in the Google document that Mal shared, where Mal also claimed that he allegedly pressured girls into being intimate with him. This is a message that came from Sykkuno's girlfriend to Bao, saying, "Hey Bao, I'm sorry to bother you with this, but I heard something recently that was a bit concerning and I thought I would just come and ask you about it. I heard that there was possibly an instance of Sykkuno trying to get VTuber girls up to A or his hotel room to drink with them, and that the tweet you made about being cautious of large male streamers showering you with gifts and attention was about him, in regards to him doing it to one of your friends." Not only was this mentioned in the Google Doc, but Bao also confirms this conversation. Why was there no context added to this? Again, this is my whole problem with the Google Doc. There's so many things thrown at you that make no sense unless you go on a wild goose chase. And apparently this one led to somebody calling Sykkuno Harvey Weinstein. I'll say it again, either she knows something that we don't that is very, very serious, or something's not lining up here.
At this point, I felt that it wasn't right of me to speak on anyone's behalf. So instead of going straight into the details that were shared in confidence with me, I got her in contact with girls who were affected by this person to share their experiences with her one-on-one. At that point, I just got them in contact with each other.
By the way, just so you're aware, I shortened this just like I shortened the Discord call, and I put it on 1.5 speed. So in this next part, she talks about how she felt like it wasn't right for her to speak on the behalf of anybody else, so she decided to make a group chat of other people who were affected by him allegedly, and had his girlfriend allegedly join that group chat so they can tell her their experiences firsthand. That's fair, but why are you making posts like this on Twitter and then making jokes like this? If it's a joke. Is it a joke? I feel like if somebody was being that horrible, that's what deserves a Google Doc so people are aware, not whatever this fumble is. Because God forbid if something actually did take place, there's no way that a person will be believed at this point if they come out and share any type of severely horrific experience that they could have had with this person because of how badly this was messed up by people like Mal who made the document. And quite frankly, this person, Bao, who was participating, and some others who we haven't gotten to yet in this video.
After our phone call, I don't know what was divulged between the conversations between her and the other girls. I was more so focused on her safety. She shared with me that she was wanting to move out that week, and during that time, I tried my best to keep in contact with her and make sure she's safe, gave her as much help as possible to make the move as fast and smooth as possible.
In this next part, she discusses how after being on a Discord call with her and getting her in contact with other girls who had a negative experience with him allegedly, she said that her focus wasn't on the group chat and she was more focused on trying to get her to safety, as his girlfriend allegedly wanted to leave him at that point and move out. This
is me, telling her pretty much everything that helped me a lot with my recent move. As you all know, I recently moved. That was,
She then shares a screenshot from her end of Discord, which that's a hilarious profile picture, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, when I rented my U-Haul truck, I just went on their website and reserved it and added the pickup time for it. I would get the 10-foot truck if you're not moving furniture or anything. I also got about 20 boxes of different sizes, 5 extra large, 5 medium, 5 small from Home Depot, because they have handles and they also delivered it by the next day, and she provided a link for that. Get lots of packing tape. If you're worried about boxes moving around when you drive, you can rent ratchet straps from U-Haul when you check out the truck. You get the truck for like 5 days automatically, so you can take your time driving back and forth and not having to do it in one day. Make sure to take your graphics card and your PC and wrap it in a t-shirt or some bubble wrap so it doesn't break off the motherboard during transport. The trucks use regular gas, not diesel. So okay, she's giving some tips on using a U-Haul truck and moving her things out. Bao further explains that Sykkuno's girlfriend was planning on having friends come from out of state to help her move, and then at the very last minute, she changed her mind.
It's a lot, especially in a short amount of time, and she shared with me that friends from out of state would be flying in to help her move, but at the last minute, she decided to talk to her boyfriend. She broke no contact. She wanted to stay, and after helping her, doing what I could, I'm sure her friends also shared the same sentiment as me. We all tried our best to help her out of a very difficult situation, but it was, there was nothing anyone could really do. It was her decision, and I think the only thing I could do at that point was respect it and left it at that. But not long after, this is her deciding not to move.
Bal, I'm sorry it's been a bit since I've gotten back to you. I wanted to let you know what was going on, but I imagine it will probably be confusing for you to hear. Essentially, before I left for Redacted, I decided to see, I'm assuming Sykkuno, but probably his actual name, Redacted. Something was pushing me to see him before I left, so I decided to go. I don't think it's helpful for me to go into details, but basically I was shown some things that really made me doubt my decision on leaving. After talking with him for a long time, and after seeing these things, I decided it wasn't the choice I wanted to make anymore, so I didn't end up leaving. She then goes into how she tried her best to get her out of an awful situation, but you can't force somebody to leave somebody, and there's only so many things you could do without pushing past someone's boundaries, which I think is completely fair. If she wants to stay with him, she wants to stay with him, and that's her decision. Nobody can force her to leave him. But this is where Mal comes into the picture.
I feel like I had did what I could to try and get her out of a very awful situation, but again, you still have to respect your friend's boundaries, and that was her decision. So I left it as that at that. But then, not long after, a VTuber would contact my mod for a completely unrelated thing, but coincidentally, while they were chatting, she mentioned going on a date with Sykkuno.
Holy crap, she actually said his name in this. I'm surprised, considering that earlier she called him you-know-who.
And I was pretty alarmed because in her last message to me, she was shown things that made her doubt her decision on leaving. So, it seemed that things were looking up for their relationship, but that didn't make sense because the VTuber showed me and my mod screenshots of him talking to her as early as 30 minutes ago at this point in time.
This is actually really sad. So basically she tells her to consider checking Sykkuno's DMs because it seems like he's not being honest. Obviously he wasn't being honest with her, as he admitted in that previous call.
And so I went back to the girlfriend and told her, hey, do you know anything about this VTuber? She said no. And I told her, I really think you should ask your boyfriend to see his DMs with her and decide for yourself, is he really being honest with you?
And then she shares another message. Val said, I think you should talk to her. I'm assuming she was referring to Mal. She says they talked in call and DM. Sykkuno's girlfriend responds, I don't understand. Please tell her to add me. I just need screenshots of their conversations if possible. That's all I need. And Val said, yes, I will.
At that point, I'm still just doing what she's requested of me. She wanted to talk to the girl one-on-one. I put them in a group chat and I immediately left. I felt that this was much more than I bargained for. I was already feeling like I was at my wit's end. I can't really force anyone to make the right decisions or do anything they don't want to do. And I felt that, I've done what I could while respecting everyone's boundaries. And that is what I felt was the right thing to do.
She claims that she feels like she was at her wit's end and kind of stepped back after getting everybody in contact with each other. But she's the one that got involved in this in the first place. Months ago, not just recently. Again, she made this tweet here last October, and prepare for me to mention this 5 more times in the next 2 minutes.
I, of course, have known for a while, as well as a lot of other people, that this guy's kind of just, he's no good.
So she does admit to knowing things and knowing them for quite some time. Did she know about him cheating on his girlfriend and not tell her until the girlfriend asked? What else does she know or has she heard about? Because at this point, I'm sorry, if you're willing to make a tweet like this and then call somebody Harvey Weinstein, but then try to back out of it and say, well, it's not my story to tell, why'd you make that tweet then? I don't understand. The other stuff I can actually understand to a point, wanting to get people in contact and then taking a step back because that's the best you could do, or saying, hey, here's some tips on moving. I'm not trying to overstep a boundary here. I respect that, but there's something here that just doesn't seem right.
And I felt that I already kind of had my taste of what I guess would happen if things went public.
She said that she already had her taste of things if they went public. She made a very vague tweet without naming anybody, which we later, much later, found out was about Sykkuno. I'm going back to her original tweet, and there's a person, as I mentioned earlier, that we'll be bringing up called Mujin. I hope I'm saying that right. They actually commented on this again in 2025, saying, bro, this literally could not be more true, especially if they offer to help you grow if you move in with them. Did they know things, or is this hypothetical? I'm actually asking here because I'm confused. I'm looking in the comments and the quote tweets, or I guess post interactions, now they're called. It didn't seem seem like she got that much hate, and if it was any hate, it was basically from like the bottom of the barrel incel type people. It's not the amount of criticism that people like her, Mal, and anybody else directly involved in this now are getting right now. I would imagine it's more like trolling comments, unless I just didn't scroll down enough, but it seems like a lot of people agreed with her. I looked through the quote retweets or post replies, and the only ones mentioning Sykkuno are posts from recently. This was a tweet from 2025. I hadn't seen anybody mentioning Sykkuno back then, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't known who she was talking about at the time she posted this, except for maybe a few people in this same circle that is reporting on him now.
Everything that I did to this point was completely private, and I'm not really sure what else I can share or divulge to prove that I am, I guess, like a lot of people are making my role out to be a lot more than it actually was. I honestly just got these girls in contact with each other, and I didn't have to, but I did because, well, it seemed like at this point, since so many girls were involved, they should at least be in contact with each other. And also, my biggest thing is it's not really my place to speak on behalf of anyone.
Again, she says it's not my place to speak on behalf of anybody, but she made this whole tweet, and I don't know, I feel like if you know something that's dark and you're willing to make this type of tweet, you should have just said something more direct. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I don't know really if I trust what she's saying here, but right now there's nothing to contest it as far as I'm aware.
Nothing. I'm personally not a victim. I personally have never been in a situation with this guy, but these other girls have. That's pretty much all I have to say. Sorry if things are a little jumbled. I don't want to mention any more names and add fuel to the fire. I think that emotions are really high because people are hurt and confused and are looking for answers in the wrong places. And I think it would do a lot of good if people hopped off online. And yeah, that's kind of it. I've been offline for the most part, and I hope you guys can follow suit. I highly recommend it. And yeah, just wanted to clear that up since my name is mentioned in the doc, but if you did read it, I just got the girls in contact with each other.
I'm sorry. Okay, I just have to clarify that I'm hearing this fully for the first time as I'm reacting to this right now. Usually I'll listen to it a few times and then collect my thoughts before saying anything. Could we go back for a second? Did she say that everybody needs to hop offline? You were making it sound like this person was Harvey Weinstein back in 2025. Now you're trying to say that it's not your place to say anything, you don't want to share any names, etc. I understand you don't want to out anybody if they had a bad experience and there's that awkward situation where you might know something, but you don't want to be the person to say it. But you can't just dip your toes in the water and watch all of these things fall through and then say, oh, you know what? No, it's not my place. At this point, if you know something, it's the best time to share it, because if anybody else comes out and shares a story that might be way more intense than anything anybody else has shared publicly so far, they're going to have a very hard time being believed because of how bad this entire situation was handled. So in the best case scenario, things were embellished or exaggerated, sensationalized, for whatever reason, her case. But at the very worst, he could be doing something a lot darker than we know. I'm not saying this is fact, I'm saying hypothetically based off of what was shared here. But if that's the case, if anybody comes out about it now because of how bad this situation was handled, they're not going to be believed without a lot of hardcore proof. So if that's the case, how dare you get yourself involved only to the point where you feel comfortable about it, back out of it, and then when things blow up, you try to say, you know what, everybody should just go offline, maybe touch some grass. That's not fair to anybody involved. No, you can't say something like that after just trying to say like, hey, you know what, some things really happened that were concerning and they might be on the level of Harvey Weinstein type of stuff. I'm done with this, honestly. The next and last thing I want to get into is this video made by Musion. Okay, as you can probably tell by now, So much has happened since the start of me making this entire video that I feel like I have to come in here and redo this part specifically. A creator named Mujin had posted a 1-hour video on Sykkuno titled How to Go from Viral Star to Serial Cheater and Manipulator: The Lies of Sykkuno. This video was up for about a week and had gotten over 2 million views at the time I last checked. This video was posted very shortly after Mal had dropped her Google document. When I first began this video, granted I'm already a week and a half in making this, when I first began this video, I was only focused on the Google document, and it took me like a day or so to realize there was a connected video to this, and I was just going to go over, this entire video was just me going to go over the Google Doc, and it has escalated so much. So basically, after Sykkuno and his girlfriend dropped a statement on Twitter or X, Mujin decided to private this video and create a new video. I'm thinking at this point I'm going to do a second part to all of this because so much more has happened, but what you're going to hear for the next few moments is me describing what took place in that video before it was taken down in a very brief way because I also didn't want to be too redundant with everything I just shared. Pointing out the things that people have been criticizing him for. These are things that have led people to speculation that this was some sort of coordinated effort to try and get Sykkuno canceled, allegedly. Which I want to be clear, whether or not this was a coordinated thing, I do think he deserves criticism and consequences for cheating on his partner. Full stop. But any false or embellished accusations to try and make this more sensationalized, that is not okay. And as I mentioned at the end of this, we're going to get into Sykkuno's response that also has his girlfriend's response, and she does not seem happy about this. His girlfriend did not want any part of this at all. So Mujin is a YouTuber who has over 700,000 subscribers and seems like they're in sort of the same niche as the type of videos I do. They just talk about obscure things that happen online. They seem to be more invested in Twitch streamers, maybe more VTuber stuff. Once in a while I'll cover some Twitch streamer stuff, but most of my videos are kind of all over the place. So I would say if you like my content, maybe you'll like this person's content, but I don't know after everything that happened. I just found out about who this person was through this situation. Now, since this Google Doc has come out, a lot of people have been making videos talking about their opinions on the situation. Some people's opinions have been escalating and changing with developing information, but the reason why this person in particular is getting as much backlash as they are is because a few things seem a little suspicious with this video. This isn't just a case of somebody having a bad take and then deciding, oh, you know what, my opinion changed with new information. This video was posted just an hour after Mal had dropped her Google Doc on Sykkuno. And for those of you who don't know, it definitely takes a lot longer than an hour to script, record, edit, upload, and post your video. In fact, with the length of that video, I bet you if their computer's anything like mine, it probably took an hour just to render and upload it alone. I'm sorry, it might have been closer to 2 hours actually. Even still, to drop a 1 hour long video like this within that suspiciously short amount of time, forgive my poorly worded description, immediately gave people a very bad vibe. Especially when you see the type of video that this is. This isn't just a hour-long video of some guy looking at the camera and talking. This is a video with heavy editing, lots of screenshots, information being shared. This is a very time-consuming thing. Just for example, this video I would say is significantly lower effort than his video was in terms of editing and flashiness. It's still taken me about a week to make. Granted, I have a few things going on that's been taking extra time and slowing down my production of content, unfortunately. But even if I was at my peak right now, creating content very quickly, which hopefully I'll get back to soon, it would still take at least 2 or 3 days just to record everything and research and get all of this information out there. That's not including the fancy editing or anything like that, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And not to drag this out, but to be fair, I am still currently just a team of 1 working on these videos. I know a lot of people actually have multiple people helping them out with content creation. Even if this person is somebody who has people employed for him to work on parts of his videos or work on thumbnails or scripting or whatever, it would not be done within an hour or 2. We'll say an hour because this long of a video would still take some time to render, upload, and be approved by YouTube. Lastly, before we even get get into what the video contains, there's a pinned comment saying, "I'd like to thank the victims again for trusting me with this, and I'd also like you to ignore any rage baiters that don't bother reading the doc or listening to their voice call. We've done both, not rage baiting here. I am just trying to get to the bottom of everything." The video itself is pretty similar to this video without all of the additional information that had come out after the Google Doc was posted. He gave a bit of a backstory on Sykkuno, gave a bit of a backstory on the people involved in this Google Doc. He did add a little bit more information than what was shared with people like Ophelia or Elfali, but for the most part, he simply reads the Google Doc and then he allows the call to play that we have already gone over. I'd say for the first day or so, his video performed pretty well, but as time went on, more and more people became upset with this situation as more information developed about the person who made this Google Doc and other people involved in it. And the longer that time had gone on, the more and more people began to speculate that something might have been calculated here, or in other words, coordinated to go after Sykkuno behind the scenes, I suppose. I can't tell you for sure what may or may not be true regarding that because I wasn't there for that situation, but as he pointed out in his own pinned comment, he was in communication with the people involved in this document, especially Mal, which is important. But before we dive into that, I just want to bring up again what I talked about when discussing the Bao section of this video. When Bao had made this tweet back in October of 2025, he commented on it, and the comment, just looking at it now, seems a little weird. It makes me wonder if he knew anything back then the way that Bao claims that she knew some things. It makes me wonder, did he know that this guy has been cheating on his girlfriend prior to all of this? Was this an opportunistic thing that he did? Or did he just find out about this and that comment was completely coincidental months ago? That's just questions and speculation, not accusations against him, because I don't know. It's confusing to me. Nevertheless, getting back to Mal in this situation, something else is really interesting. After a few days of backlash, Mugen had decided to make a lengthy Twitter post, which we will get into in a moment, but what I assume is a now deleted post. If not, I cannot find it, but luckily somebody had screenshotted it and reposted it, from Mal saying, "So me and Mugen have been friends and has been one of my confidants in this entire time. On top of that, doesn't mean PEDO. It can, and that's what I feel like the implication was leaning toward, at least in the beginning, and then it changed. That's my opinion still. I stated he was a predator because he has gone around the VTubing community, specifically reaching out to smaller female streamers to get intimate favors out of them while giving them both half-truths and lies. Is that manipulative? Yeah. Right now, I think that this is being sensationalized to further bring him down because she's very upset that he would not continue a relationship with her even after finding out about him cheating on his girlfriend. But we've already gone over that. What we haven't gone over is this little contradiction here. So another time she mentioned her friendship with Mugen was here. Someone wrote, "I see this was in the works for a long time and coordinated." She replied with, "Literally a week ago, found out about it, and Mugen is a close friend of mine." Let's repeat that, a close friend of mine. With that being said, let's get into Mugen's response. Some readers of my community have reached out regarding a few concerns, and I wanted to make sure I properly address them before we fully move on from this topic. Look, I'm flattered that Mal tweeted that she considers me a close friend, and I'm grateful for her trust. But the first time we spoke was on April 7th, so this narrative that the video was made as a favor to anyone is simply false. The truth is, Sykkuno's serial cheating and manipulation was only the tip of the iceberg, and I was hoping the video would encourage many others who have stayed quiet for years to finally find the courage to talk about their experiences. Unfortunately, with the current state of affairs, that doesn't seem like it'll happen anymore, even if they were to somehow fit the image of a quote-unquote perfect victim. I don't blame them whatsoever. Instead, I can only wish for the best, and I hope that his ex, who was cheated on for over 5 years, can find the peace that she deserves. As for me, I'll continue making videos that millions of people enjoy, and when prompted, I'll strive to do the right thing even if it's not trendy, because that's just how I was raised and it's simply who I am. That will never change no matter how many vultures try to desperately farm my name. Thank you for being the best community I could ever ask for, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that is, Mujin. It actually got community noted, saying that Mal stated that Mujin was already a friend and confident before April 7th. This indicates their relationship existed before the events discussed. So either Mujin is not being honest or Mal is not being honest. I don't know which person to believe. That's up for you to decide. But they're not consistent with each other. The weirdest part is that she actually retweeted this, or reposted this now. There's actually a very big update regarding Mujin. He just privated his video and uploaded a new video. So this is an apology/explanation video where he talks about being reached out to by Mal and also being informed that a big Google Doc was going to be made on a massive creator. He went from, in his first video, supporting the accusations Mal had made against Sykkuno, claiming he was a for going after smaller channels. He went from that narrative to saying women were being tricked into being homewreckers. In this video, he does apologize for pushing the predator narrative, despite heavily defending that prior to Sykkuno and Sykkuno's girlfriend's response. He also admits some biases and some other issues, and honestly, I can dive into this entire response a lot deeper. Overall, the important thing to note here is that he apologized and retracted a lot of his statements. Was it a good apology? Was it a bad apology? I'll tell you more in a following video if you are that interested to know my thoughts on it. And I'm sorry, I actually genuinely would put it in this video, but we are reaching past 2 hours at this point. There's so much more that I could get into, so I figured if this is enough interest to enough people, then I'll make a follow-up and then I'll go into that more. The reason why I find it important to go into these side stories, if you will, of Mujin and Bao, and unfortunately I couldn't dive too deep into Elfie or Elfie, because as far as I'm aware, their Twitter account is still private, but we're going to get into the reason why I have extended this video beyond just the Google document now, which is the response from Sykkuno and Sykkuno's girlfriend. We are finally getting into the Sykkuno response and his girlfriend's response in the equivalent of like a notepad statement posted onto Twitter or X. There's actually somebody that read his part of the response in like the perfect anime dub voice. People were saying it was the voice actor of Deku, of an anime character, which is absolutely hilarious. If you don't remember from the beginning of this video, he's kind of known for having this like male uwu personality. He's actually the first person I've ever seen to both be a man and have an uwu, almost e-girlish personality. It's very insufferable, honestly. I'm not trying to bring in ad hominems here, but it is hard. I watched a compilation video earlier and I couldn't even get through it. I had to skip through a lot of it because hearing him talk and the way he acts makes my skin crawl. This is a 34-year-old man. But anyway, a very well dubbed version of this is floating around online. I wanted to add in to clarify, this actually was the voice actor for Deku. That is crazy. Here's a small clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing. We're going to read it together.
I would like to apologize to everyone I have disappointed. Most of all, to my girlfriend.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the rest linked in the description below if you want to hear it. I just think it's hilarious that an actual voice actor, it's from the show My Hero Academia. I've actually never watched it, but I have the idea of what this character is and its trope. Imagine things being so bad that a professional voice actor reads your portion of a written apology. That is wild to me. But anyway, we're gonna get into the rest of this now. I'm so sorry I put you through so much. I never want to make these mistakes again and hurt you and the people I care about. I was unfaithful and I own and fully admit to that. I lied to people and told them I was single, which I know is not right. I'm sorry to all of the people that I hurt by doing this. The following is not an attempt to minimize what I have done. However, I've seen false accusations about me that are not true. I cannot allow false accusations and such extreme labels to be placed on me. I do understand that people making these claims did it from a place of hurt, so please do not send any more hate to anyone. I just want the situation to get better, and I wish them the best. My girlfriend and I didn't respond quickly because we were already working on our relationship and communication before this all happened. Having so much private information exposed to the public has made it incredibly difficult for us to heal together. Whoa, 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 who's us? Okay, like, hold on. Are you kidding me? Us? 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 No. Your girlfriend is the one that desperately needs to heal from this. You need probably a gratuitous amount of therapy to heal something else inside of you so you don't do what you kept doing to your girlfriend, to her, or anybody else ever again. There's a different type of healing there that you need, buddy, and it is not the healing that she needs. Don't lump yourself into the victimization that you caused your girlfriend. That pisses me off. I'm sorry. This guy in general pisses me off. Anyway, I will be taking a break from streaming and the internet to better myself and give us time we need to try and improve our relationship. Thank you for reading, and I will continue to learn and grow from this experience. My girlfriend wanted to share her experience. Below is a message written by her. There's a lot to unpack with such a short note here. Hi there. I want to start by saying thank you to those who have been checking in on me and wishing me well during such a difficult time. It's been extremely heartbreaking to learn everything I know now, and going through this has been one of the hardest things I have ever been put through in my life. Completely understandable. I've been tossed around from all sides. Me and my reality have been continuously shattered. Though no matter how broken I am, I never wanted this to be public. It deeply hurts me that I wasn't given a choice in that, or even just warned that this would be happening at all. I didn't want this. Mal, the person who made this 32-page Google Doc, apparently the person who claimed on the Discord call that she cares about Sykkuno's girlfriend. She cares so much, but she did not give a single about what she would think when she posted this Google document exposing her boyfriend for cheating on her and how that would affect her. She didn't ask, she didn't warn her, or nothing, according to what his girlfriend said here. I'm surprised that we're even hearing anything from his girlfriend at all. My jaw was on the floor the first time that I read this. You're telling me that on top of all of this, she had no clue that that Google Doc was being posted and in the works? The people that claim to care about her so much and support the victims and everything, they didn't even check in on her or ask how she was feeling about this? I'm getting ahead of myself. Even after the fact, I wish they would have at least checked in on me or asked how I felt about everything, but I haven't heard anything from the people involved since this all came out. Why? Why is everybody so passionate about this, but they haven't even considered how she'd feel about this? The biggest person affected by this situation, why did nobody care enough to check on her? Why did nobody even say, hey, how you doing? You holding up okay? Because again, infidelity is something that can wreck you mentally. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I still don't know if what he said is true, if they have or haven't been intimate or not, whatever. If there is even a chance that he could have caught something and given it to her, that's a whole other story. They live together. This is a 5-year-long relationship, and her world is crashing down because she's finding out that he's been with this person and that person and another person, and she found out before that he cheated on her, but he never told her who it was and never told her the extent of things that happened. And then she goes into this group chat and finds out more information to the point where she feels so sick she needs to leave the group chat. But nobody wanted to check in on her after this fucking Google Doc was posted? Are you kidding me? I wasn't expected to get this heated over it, but I'm genuinely so upset about this because all this shows me now is that everything in this situation regarding the people who have publicized this were doing it for self-gain. The people who knew about things that he was doing months ago previously, but didn't say anything or only said things vaguely online and didn't speak up until after this Google Doc was posted. I'm sorry, I don't believe that they're coming from a genuine place. I really don't. Anyway, I'm sorry. I have to come back in here because apparently I got myself so upset reading this that I forgot to read a few parts. I understand that those involved with him have been hurt as well, but I don't believe my feelings were considered in this situation at all. I could see why she feels that way. Having my worst fears become my reality, then put on full display and used for profit. In this particular sentence, I'm assuming she means the Mugen guy who made that video right afterwards. For everyone to see is absolutely mortifying. I'm sure it is. I'm sure that's mortifying. Imagine thinking that you have a wonderful relationship, or maybe even a relationship where things aren't going the best, but you have what you think is a solid relationship going on, somebody you've been with for 5 years, you moved in with them, you care about them, you love them, and then you find out they cheated on you. But not only do you find out they cheated on you, you find out they cheated on you with multiple girls. And not only do you find out they cheated on you with multiple girls, but when you want to leave, they allegedly try to make you feel bad into staying, and then you stay. Okay, you decide to stay. So then you try to work on things, and then you find out that one of the people involved in this situation drops a Google Doc. Another person, right after that Google Doc was dropped, posts a 1 hour long video going over everything, only to find out that they were somewhat in connection in one way or another. You find out that other people are involved in this, and it becomes something that had gained over 32 million views on X alone. I believe that guy's video had gotten over 2 million views the last time I checked. The audio call that was leaked got over 180,000 views the last time I checked, and that was an unlisted video. That would be fucking mortifying. It's bad enough when you're cheated on. This is a whole other level, and nobody considered that in her regard at all. I genuinely feel terrible for her. Coming back because I did the same thing again, it truly feels like a nightmare. It was already hard enough trying to work through things in private. This has just added another layer of difficulty and stress on top of everything. It's made it so much harder for me to cope. I could imagine that it would. Prior to all of this becoming public, we were already making changes to improve our relationship. And while I could have chosen to leave, I ultimately made the decision to stay with the hopes of repairing our relationship together. I've seen people try to tear her to shreds over this. Please give her some grace, especially when it comes to situations like this. Not only can infidelity completely destroy a person's mental health, but it puts them in a very vulnerable place. And I genuinely still do feel very bad for her, and people shouldn't be saying this type of stuff to her. I don't want to speculate on things that we don't know about the relationship, at least not at this time, but many people have called this guy manipulative, and I can't imagine what has gone on between Sykkuno and his girlfriend after this situation. With that being said, and even I have been saying throughout this video, I genuinely hope she leaves this man. Please leave this man. I still do. I hope that she gets the courage to leave this guy, because if he has done this so many times to you, that is not a person, in my opinion, that loves you. If they can hurt you over and over and over again and be dishonest with you in the way that they are, and yeah, being very manipulative to you, that's not somebody who deserves you or your love. And quite frankly, I don't believe that's somebody who truly loves you the way that anybody should be loved. And I hope that one day she'll be able to see that and leave. I know it is scary. I know it is so scary when you're in a relationship for that long. Changing things up can be scary, especially if you live with them. But I promise that there is somebody out there who will treat you so much better than this. If you decide to stay, if you're hearing my voice right now, I highly doubt it, but if this person is watching, at the very least, I beg you, look into couples counseling. But coming from somebody who has been through some shit, I can tell you that it will drain you. Even if you don't feel it now, it will suck the soul out of you. That's all. But it's ultimately her decision. Listen, I'm just somebody on the internet. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe things can get better. But if anything happens again, if things don't work out, there are people out there who will care enough to be there for you. Lean into them. Don't go to people like the person who made this Google Doc. The last thing she says is, even though all of the things I've learned are incredibly disappointing and shocking, I don't think they are irredeemable. It's been hard handling things unfolding this way, but I believe this will be a step in the right direction. With time, I hope everyone can focus on healing and being better versions of themselves. I'm absolutely disgusted for this person. Truly, I am. I feel very, very horrible for her. And also, please give her grace. Again, I know a lot of people have been saying, wow, I can't believe she stayed and stuff like that. When you're in a situation like this, it can take a person a long time to finally get the courage to break things off. It's mentally destroying. And on top of that, I genuinely do think he's a pretty manipulative person. So who knows what he could have been saying. I'm not going to put that much speculation into that because none of that was mentioned here. But give her some grace, especially with everything going on. Whoever this person is, you are a very forgiving and seemingly kind person. I genuinely wish you the best. I genuinely hope that whatever is in your future, it involves happiness, trust, and safety and security. Please make sure you are surrounded by a group of people who are a good support system to you that you can trust. And regardless of your decision, please know that you are worth so much more than what you were put through. Now, I want to say that's where I'm ending today's video, But Mal decided to repost one other thing. I found this when looking for a screenshot of another thing she posted, reading all of this stuff. Just a few hours ago, somebody else dropped another 42-page Google Doc. We're gonna take a small peek at just what the tweet says, and if you're interested, I will do a follow-up video going over this Google Doc, because from everything that I know about it so far, I've only glanced at a few things. I haven't gone through the entire thing, but this one seems a lot more damning than Mal's Google Doc was. I also want to add in here that throughout this entire video, I've pretty much repeated from what we currently knew at the time of the first document being posted, there wasn't enough information for me to say, you know what, yeah, I think this is completely because what Mal had implied was he was for their 15-year age gap and left out that she was 19 and he was 34. That's not to say that isn't creepy. In my opinion, that's also pretty inappropriate, but this teetered on a line that escalated to a huge debate online on whether or not that was accurate. And considering some other things that seem to have been omitted from this document, including the audio call that she actually links, where she seems very upset that after everything, he decided to not continue a relationship with her, and that led into this assumption that this is why she actually made the doc in the first place. All of that considered, it left a lot of people to doubt what she had said and what others had said. In addition to that, we also have tweets like this comparing him to Harvey Weinstein without any evidence or anything to indicate that things were at that level. And to be fair, at this point, unless more comes out, I still think that's an extreme accusation. And I think the person who made this post also knows it's an extreme accusation because they refused to name Sykkuno in their explanation video they just posted, aside from one slip up halfway through. As I had stated throughout this video, should anybody else come forward with another experience involving Sykkuno, it's immediately going to be met with ridicule and picked apart more so than any of the people we have discussed throughout today's video. And that actually really upsets me because this was fumbled so bad that if he has done anything extreme, it's now going to be taken less seriously and looked at with much more speculation than it could have been prior. One more thing before I get into this new Google Doc, just briefly for now. The reason why I had this weird hesitation this entire video is because I feel like some of the most damning parts of Mal's Google Doc was just completely glossed over, and it left me with more questions than answers I still don't have. Such as this screenshot here saying, I heard that there was a possibility, an instance of Sykkuno trying to get VTuber girls up to A or his hotel room to drink with them, and that tweet you made being cautious of large male streamers showering you with gifts and attention was about him, and doing it to one of your friends? Could we get more information on that part? Because throughout this entire thing, that just kind of went unnoticed. And then we have Bao calling him Harvey Weinstein, and then we have people like Mujin commenting below it, and them saying that there's some other darker stuff that people don't know about, or that they somewhat know about, but can't speak on. It's weird. This whole thing just leaves me feeling confused and uncertain of how to feel about this guy or them. But what I can confidently say is if they know something and have refrained from sharing it up until this point, that's a whole other frustrating situation. This doesn't make them look good either way, but all of this getting to this new document here, again, we're not going to go over the full document, I'm just reading the intro of this tweet here. All of this, as I have been saying throughout this video, partially which I had no idea this post was going to be made because I found it looking for a screenshot to edit this video about Mal's document. All of this is basically happening to this person. She came out with her statement and people are ripping her apart on Twitter. Again, I don't know every detail of this yet, but I can tell you that it seems a lot worse. There's a lot more stuff in here that seem a lot more damning than Mal's document was, and it's something that I think Sykkuno definitely should address. And I think the responses to this person and anybody else could prevent anybody who may or may not have been affected by Sykkuno from sharing their own story because of how bad this entire situation was fumbled from the original document poster, being Mal. And if that comes off as harsh, I apologize. I think this really screwed things up a lot. I think at best this was a sensationalized situation that a scorned person wanted to try and take him down for. But at worst, there is something more going on, and some people seem to know about it, but it's being executed in a terrible way. And now other people who want to come out and share their stories are seemingly at the front lines of the criticisms because of what people have done before them. So again, we're just reading the tweet here. This is by somebody named Iceland. After reading both the private and public apologies, I do not feel reassured. That is part of why I am choosing to share my experience now. I also believe people can make more informed decisions when they have more context, not less. Sykkuno became my friend when I was 17 and he was 28. Nothing inappropriate happened at the time. She's saying that up front before you even click the document, but that history shaped the trust I had in him later. This is a more complicated situation, I would argue, than Mal's. So nothing did happen to them when she was 17 and he was 28, but when she became 23, I believe, that's when things went into a different direction. But even at 17, there were a few screenshots from this document that I just glanced through that, in my opinion, make this Google document a little bit more damning than Mal's. And a lot of people gave this person a lot of backlash. Again, I haven't gone over every detail of this document. I skimmed through it. There is more questionable stuff that he has done if what is posted in this document is true. Stuff that I think he definitely needs to address. Because while she says he hasn't done anything inappropriate when she was 17, there's some stuff that's still a little weird. And I can't in good faith leave this video off without sharing at least that much of this document here. And again, if you want me to, I will dive even deeper next time. We're just hitting a limit here on time today. And this other document is over 40 pages long, so we could be looking at another hour of information here. The last thing I wanted to add, which is kind of out of place, I didn't know where exactly to put this part, but I find it frustrating that despite how this has been mishandled so far, that all of the people involved in this, at least publicly, have been getting a lot of hateful comments, calling them things like, which is insane to me because regardless of how some things were fumbled through this, the man cheated on his girlfriend with a plethora of women. I'm not endorsing the name calling on either side, but if you want to call a spade, let's be real here. This is about a serial cheater who had been lying to multiple women about being single and lying to his girlfriend about his whereabouts, shall we say. This entire situation sucks. It's extremely awful for his girlfriend. I genuinely hope she gets the courage to leave him, not for the sake of him possibly dating another one of these VTubers or whatever, but for the sake of her own mental health and life. She doesn't need that. Like, if you're in a situation, like, you don't need that. I promise you there is somebody else out there that will treat you a million times better and will never make you feel like this. Being put in a situation like this is humiliating and embarrassing, and it is something that I wish on nobody. It's not only levels of distrust, wreaking absolute havoc on your mental health, being concerned about your physical health as you might not know if he's contracted something and could give it to you. But there's also a layer of this person being a public figure talking to multiple women online without you having a clue about it, and then it being found out to millions and millions of people. That causes deep humiliation and embarrassment, and it's something I would not wish on anybody. People deserve more respect than that, and I genuinely hope he gets some kind of help so that he never does this to anybody in the future. This is unfortunately something that is way too common, maybe minus the e-celebrity part of it, but like this is something that is very common, and you know, it does deserve to be discussed and talked about. And again, my final opinion on this right now is that the situation of him cheating on his girlfriend is bad enough. It is bad enough as it is. It's bad enough to the people he lied to about not having a girlfriend, and it's terrible for his girlfriend. Putting all of the other arguments aside, I believe that's my conclusion on this situation. Another word of advice for everybody out there. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure that you are doing well in this heat. Would not recommend wearing a beanie for over an hour in extremely warm climates while on SSRIs and not drinking as much water as I should be. Wouldn't recommend doing that. Don't do that at home. And with that being said, thank you so much to everybody who has made it all the way to the end of this video. Thank you so much to everybody supporting me over on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. It means a lot to me, especially during this time right now. And I will see you again in the very near future, either with an update to this video or another extremely long video that I've already been working on for a month. This was a spur of the moment video, believe it or not, and it's taken me over a week at this point. I will see you later.